Saturday morning, everyone. It's 21 News Chief Meteorologist Eric Wilhelm up and at 'em as we kick off the weekend in the month of April with a very active day ahead. We need to take this morning to prepare for the wind that's coming and the possible power outages as a result. We just did this last Saturday, and yes, we're going to do it again today. Here's the setup. We had some showers and storms overnight that even prompted a severe thunderstorm warning for parts of Trumbull County at about 3 o'clock a.m., but all that activity is long gone, and as you can see, a big pocket of clearing has developed across Ohio. We're going to have abundant sunshine for the next few hours, and that's actually not great news for our thunderstorm prospects around midday. The more sunshine we have this morning, the more heating there can be, the more unstable the atmosphere can be. As we get into midday, that could spell some trouble. It's all about the wind today. There's going to be some other threats as well, but wind is the number one concern. And what we're looking at in this graphic is the wind speeds at about 10,000 feet above our head. That's an important level because the atmosphere will become very well mixed during the midday hours today. What we mean by that is that air parcels will rise freely, they'll descend freely, the atmosphere kind of gets mixed up, and some of this wind energy up at 5,000 feet, 7,000 feet, even up to 10,000 feet can try to get pulled down with sunshine, but also with any showers and storms that get going around midday. Some of that wind energy can just come all the way down to the surface where we are. Some of these gray colors and kind of, maroon, these are wind speeds up to about 70 to 80 miles per hour or so at that 10,000 foot level. And so while that's not necessarily what we can expect to come all the way down here, some of that wind energy will try to come down to the surface, and that'll help feed showers and storms and also just make things generally really, really windy right around midday today. That mid-level jet stream, if you will then push out to the east as we go deeper into the afternoon, allowing the wind to start to become less of an issue as we go deeper into the afternoon today. Our concern is around midday. Overnight, the Storm Prediction Center, part of the National Weather Service, did continue the what we call slight risk, level 2 out of 5, a slight risk of severe thunderstorms across all of our eastern Ohio and western PA counties. This now includes our entire viewing area. I talked about this some yesterday on social media, these risk categories and what generally they mean. A slight risk is a level 2 on that 1 to 5 scale, and generally we're in this, I'm sorry the graphic gets cut off a little bit here, but we're in this slight risk about 20 to 25 times per year. It's fairly common, especially late spring and into summer, but once we get into that level 2, it definitely gets our attention because it's definitely more common than a marginal or level 1 risk. Now, slight risks are much more common than the next level up, enhanced risk. We don't see that very often at all, generally a couple or a few times a year. A slight risk for severe weather means that we have a higher confidence compared to the marginal risk that storms can produce damaging winds, which generally we think of as 58 miles per hour or higher, hail, and the tornado potential tends to be higher, of course, in a slight risk as compared to that level 1 marginal risk. I am concerned about the possibility of an isolated tornado. Now, again, it's going to be generally windy, and we talked about this last weekend. You don't need a tornado to have a lot of wind problems. A 60 or 70 mile per hour wind gust, if it's a straight line wind, can do many of the same things that a low-end EF0 tornado can do. The EF0 tornado scale starts at 60 miles per hour. So you can have a 60 mile per hour wind without a tornado that can do many of the same things. But nonetheless, we are concerned about the wind shear that's above our heads today, and there is a non-zero tornado risk across eastern Ohio. It's probably somewhere between, say, 2 and 4% of an isolated tornado within 25 miles of any location in the green bubble, which includes, again, all of our viewing area. So wind is wind, and we're concerned about the wind today. We're concerned about an isolated tornado. The prospects of hail appear to be increasing as well. There's a lot of dry air aloft, and that can help in the formation of hail. Now, we have a tremendous amount of wind shear aloft today, and sometimes that can inhibit hail, big hail from forming. But nonetheless, much like last Saturday, any of this convection that gets going early this afternoon could have some hailstones in it across most of the region. So that is a concern, even though it's kind of a secondary concern. All right, let's walk through generally what the radar should look like as we go through time here. We expect quiet weather for the next few hours, and we're going to start the clock here right at noon. This is the simulated radar from one of our high-resolution models right at high noon. At this point, we should start to see some showers and some thunderstorms starting to bubble out towards Sandusky, the Toledo area, maybe down to Mansfield as well, kind of the I-71 corridor. I would expect a severe thunderstorm watch to be issued at this point, or near this point, for a lot of eastern Ohio and western PA, because this is going to be a fast developing situation where not much is going on, and then boom, we have a bunch of storms coming east. So there's noon, and then a half an hour or an hour later, closer to 1 o'clock, here we go, with storms coming towards the I-77 corridor and coming east very, very quickly, probably moving it at about 60 miles per hour or so. And so I think prime time around here is going to be between, say, 12:45 and through the 1 o'clock hour, and then wrapping up by about 2 o'clock. This is 2:15 this afternoon. At this point, our showers and thunderstorms already kind of exiting the viewing area, heading east of I-79 through Pennsylvania. So our true severe weather window here is probably only an hour to an hour and a half at most long. Think about 12:45 to about 2 o'clock, maybe 2:15 at the latest. In any one location, no matter where you are on the map, in your location, the risk for severe thunderstorms occurring in your area probably is only about 15 minutes long. These things are going to be booking. But keep in mind, and we talked about this last weekend, even if you miss out on big thunderstorms at midday, it's still going to be really windy. So everyone has to prepare for the wind, but the wind can be kicked up a notch, certainly, if you get under one of these heavy showers or thunderstorms. And I do think there will be a fair amount of thunder and lightning with this. I'm also concerned, again, about the isolated tornado prospects. Here's a look at one product we call the Helicity Tracks. Not exactly painting where tornadoes are going to be, but where the rotating updraft potential is maximized or at its highest. And you can see that, you know, kind of our entire area gets circled right around midday today with kind of the bullseye of potential for updating or rotating updrafts, I should say, centered basically right over our television viewing area. So again, bottom line for you today, just spend the morning securing those loose outdoor items. We spent a lot of time last weekend looking at pictures of flying trampolines and trampolines stuck in power poles and things like that. If you can, secure those trampolines, secure anything loose outdoors. Make sure this morning that your devices are charged up in case you lose power for any extended period of time. If a tree's going to fall on your garage, there's not much you can do about that. But again, just do what you can to get ready for the wind and possibly being without power for some time with these kinds of winds and the potential for perhaps even higher wind gusts if you get under a heavy thunderstorm. You just have to keep in mind that the potential is there for, much like last Saturday, extended power outages. You know we're going to have you covered on air and online today. If we have any tornado warnings, we'll cut in over television. Otherwise, a lot of our coverage is going to be on live streams, on the app, on our website, on Facebook, on YouTube, things like that. So you can look forward to that late this morning, I should say, and early this afternoon. Hope everyone stays safe on this Saturday. Thanks for watching, and have a great rest of your day.